All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, pool fans from all over the world. This is Rico Diks in Bucharest, Romania, presenting you the first of our semi-finals of the 2022 Predator Bucharest Open 9-Ball Championships. Close lag here. What happened there? Okay, someone won it and I don't know who. Wiktor won the lag. This is the first of our two semi-finals, and we truly have a lineup of fantastic 4 semi-finalists. This one between Wiktor Zielinski, the young hotshot from Poland, recent winner of the Las Vegas Open, against the current world 9-ball champion Shane, the South Dakota kid, van Boening. In our other semi-final lineup, which will be coming onto this table live and direct to your screen, however large or small it may be, will be the second semi-final between Asian superstar Ko Pin and Spanish hotshot Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. So Zielinski with the first of the cut breaks. Made the corner ball and the 1 ball. The 2 ball by rule has to be racked on the south side of the 9-ball rack, so that gets smacked about quite a bit during the dispersing of the 9 balls during the break, so hard to know where the 2 ball is going to end up. I don't think he has much of any view of this 2 ball, so we may see our first push-out situation. Next ball after the blue 2, pink 4. On the north side of the table, but of course your cue ball needs to be just past the right side pocket for position on that, for its natural position. Wiktor Zielinski thinking about pushing out to, he was looking at laying it behind the pink 4 for a jump shot, but that's quite all or nothing really, potentially. Might leave Shane a half ball 2 ball on. He's going back to his first hunch of leaving a jump shot. I don't think Shane's going to be taking this. Right. Just that little swift hand gesture by Shane, notifying Wiktor that it's all his. Right, so jump shot, so at least has to stop it there or draw it back for a half decent shot on the 4. Here we go. Oh, well, that might not be such a bad result. Of course, left Shane with a shot. With a shot on the blue 2, but naturally the cue ball, when it comes off of the short rail near us, it's going to travel towards the 6. And may even see Shane play safe off of this. But then again, I wouldn't really know how to. It's hard to overcut the blue 2. And then your cue ball might be in danger of rolling back up the table and colliding with the 9 ball. Could bank the 2 towards the 4-8 and leave the cue ball on the short rail near us. Could jack up, play it with bottom right, make the 2, swing his cue ball around the 6. As he did so, wow, that's a pretty good shot. Well, I mean, beautiful putt. I mean, with that elevation, with that amount of right spin, you do have some adjustments to do to your aiming, whether you're playing with a non-deflective shaft or not. So Shane with a nice little safety. Wiktor can come off of the right side rail or off of this short rail from which he's pointing now. That would yield potentially, well, actually it'll take a while and need some speed to hit this 4 and then try to get table long separation. Right, so left Shane. The first shot at a potential cleaning up of this table. Making this 4-ball, should be able to hold this cue ball somewhere near the line of the 7-ball or a little bit further. So Shane with that daring acrobatic shot on the blue 2-ball. And then the decent safety afterwards created this opportunity for himself. Shane van Boening just came through a nervy encounter, well, maybe more nervy encounter from the organizer's point of view, against Mario Pandahi, that he just managed to win 11-9. Really good set that was, also just now featured on this TV arena table. And Shane looking to shoot this with bottom left, bringing his cue ball back to center table. Ooh, made that on the thin side, and that's why his cue ball's rolling further along than he envisioned. And how often do you see that? Well, it has to happen sometimes, I guess. So Shane not happy with that. So made the 5, but still slightly overcut it. So that's left more speed on the cue ball after contact with the object ball than he wanted. And this is about the best result he could have hoped for. Yeah, I don't think the bank shot was on for Wiktor. Those of you not familiar with Wiktor Zielinski, I mean, where have you been in the last year or two? But there may have been a few tournaments where he didn't feature, but is a multiple Euro Tour winner. Well, and that's all you need to know, really, isn't it, to determine someone's quality. Has been one of the most talented junior players from Europe, well, on a worldwide stage, and now is making his mark on the senior circuit. For a few years considered a considerable talented player, maybe at times playing a little bit too fast for his own good, and now gaining, perhaps through a few heavy tournament losses or hard to take tournament losses, gaining that maturity to sometimes maybe take a little breather and let that not interrupt his flow or talent that he can display, and therewith being able to win matches. Well, that's a good safety by Shane. Ooh, is it? Is it? I don't think he gave up the pot. So yeah, Wiktor Zielinski really maturing in the last year or so, basically playing all of the worldwide pool tournaments that have been on offer since the pandemic restrictions kind of lifted in the various continents. So Wiktor going to be jumping over the 9-ball. If I would be looking at this, I would think, well, yeah, that cue ball needs to fly pretty high and pretty far to clear the 9-ball, and will it be able to hit the 6 and not jump off the table? I think these jump cues these days. Alright, hello 9-ball, hello 8-ball. Yeah. Can all happen. You know, no need to determine fortune or misfortune. We're playing this game with these round objects, and sometimes smacking them around at high or slow speeds, and stuff happens, you know. So Shane trying to cut this 6-ball in. I mean, that would be a hell of a shot. Or actually, he was never going for the pot and looking to play safe. I mean, from where I'm sitting, Shane has been displaying an extreme high level of pool in no matter what situation he's been faced with. You know, of course, for the last 10 years already. I think also the World 9-Ball Championship win, giving him even more vindication of his extreme quality and fighting prowess. Okay, so first miss by Wiktor, and will give up the 6-ball. That chance, so second chance for Shane to take this first rack. I mean, how long has this rack taken? It may very well be the longest rack of this match. Just to recap for you, while Shane should be running out here, although that's what we thought 5 minutes ago. We started here in the beautiful IDM Pool Club in Bucharest, Romania, 2 days ago on the Friday morning with 256 full field, playing races to 9, alternate break, racking the 9 on the spot. Late last night, or actually fairly early last night, that field was whittled down. You get to enjoy Ko Pin-Yi versus Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, and what a treat that will undoubtedly be. Shane breaking game 2, still working on the cut break. Nice. That's one of his better ones, except the cue ball. Yeah, so right after Shane's quarterfinal win against Mario he was straight back onto the table practicing the cut break. Shane, as well as Ko Pin-Yi, have not been playing with the 9 racked on the spot, so normally we'd always rack in the olden days, or the original 9-ball rules were racking the 1 on the spot. Players got a little bit too good in making the corner ball racking like that, and with the template we've now decided that it's probably best to rack the 9-ball on the spot. So all balls are racked 2 balls width higher than they used to be in the 90s, let's say. And to be able to make the corner ball on the break now, players are doing well to slightly cut the break from whichever side they're breaking from. So if you're breaking from where Shane was breaking from, you'd like to cut the 1 ball a tiny bit to the inside, so not full on hit anymore. And that's what Shane's been trying to work out, because you don't get the results pounding him like he's used to and hitting it very hard like he won the World Championship, which I like very much. But this is a kind of a different beast. So Shane and Ko Pin-Yi both getting used and getting to grips with that kind of breaking style, whereas the Europeans have been playing with that format on the Euro Tour for the last 15 years or so. Anyway, Shane pushed out, Wiktor gave it back. Shane could theoretically thump this cue ball, or this 2 ball in, or can he not hit enough of the right side of the blue? Otherwise, there's not much I can see. He could bank the 2 ball back to where the cue ball is now, and leave the cue ball behind D7. That's not a lot of cover. Right, so Shane taking a while, so that almost tells me that that cue ball didn't really end up where he wanted to with the push out. Normally, if you're pushing out somewhere and you are given the shot back, then you better have a plan in place and just get ready to execute, whereas Shane is still thinking about this. So sometimes, you know, the cue ball, half a ball further to the left or to the right, can make a big difference in the option you're giving your opponent. So, first miss by Shane, or if played safe, then not such a good execution of that little brief. As you will be able to see now and very soon and throughout this match, Wiktor Zielinski, not a player that likes to hang around too long and think about stuff. Very talented individual, gets down and sees the potting line very quickly, and then just kind of strokes once or twice to get the speed feel that he wants to add to the cue ball, and then sends it on its way, and is proving to be pretty darn accurate in the last 10 years or so. And now, coupled with that a little bit extra maturity and just also game intelligence and managing yourself and your emotions, he's proving to have a pretty successful couple of months, winning the Las Vegas Open recently prior to the World Tumble Championships that his Polish colleague Wojtek Szewczak won. So this 9-ball for a 1-all score. This should be able to work from both sides. So trying to make the black 8 bottom right. That didn't go. Made the 1-ball and got the other 2 balls points that he requires by the 4 and 6 rolling past the breaking line. So a legal break, and has actually got a shot on the 2. Pretty congested in that area there. So how would you play position on the 3? Might stun it 2 rails into the corner, out of the corner, the bottom left corner, and if he hits the 8, that would give him the 3 ball into the bottom right corner that he's shooting the 2 ball in. Think along with me, pool fans. Let me know where you're watching from. I probably don't have the chat activated for myself, or won't be looking at all of the comments. But talk amongst yourselves in the chat. We have viewers from all over the world. Had a lot of viewers from Taiwan to support Ko Ping-yi. Okay, safety is the best thing to do according to Victor, and that's kind of like a 4-ball snooker. So what to do here? I mean, you can kick this 2 rails. He might even be able to kick it 1 rail by the 8 with a lot of right spin, but he could opt, I mean, maybe a bit more adventurous, to jump over the orange 5, hit the short far rail, and come back off to hit the 2 then. Might be a few good results possible there. So Shane, what he's doing here, the distance between the blue 2 and the rail, he's mirroring that, as you can see, with his finger. So now he wants to hit the cue ball towards his finger. Yeah, that is a system that you can apply to determine a 1-rail kick direction point. Oh, cue ball. Yeah. You know, a tiny bit less or more contact on the blue 2 could have left his cue ball from scratching and left it on the top short rail there, as things stand. Victor vindicated for that safety playing, and gets himself a ball in hand chance to win rack number 3. Remember, Victor breaking first, so in this alternate break format, really important to win your own breaks, so the games that you're breaking yourself, and then try to win at least one of the racks where your opponent's breaking, because that can give you a 2-game cushion, and up until the end, then you might win the set, in this case 11-9, let's say. Alright, so now wants to follow his cue ball through to where he was just standing. So past the right side pocket. May come off 1 or 2 rails to do so. Chose to come down off 2. And He's got a little bit of an angle, but should be able to spin this or hold it right there. Yeah, so Wiktor, really a no-nonsense player, really. I really like his style. He's got his own kind of technique. Or not his own technique, but kind of like his own personal style. Doesn't look like he's trying to imitate anybody. All of this content, and currently much more already, you'll be able to view afterwards. If you can't get enough of it, go to the Billiard Network on YouTube. A vast array of classic pool matches, world-class pool videos, men's matches, ladies' matches, a lot of final rack deciding matches. So a lot of excitement to be seen on the Billiard Network YouTube channel. So Shane flapping his hand that he didn't get a shot, but can't really let it go and really wants to, and thinks it's better to jump this than trying to push out, which he may be well right, because if he jumps this and stuns his cue ball into the green 6, he's perfectly positioned for the blue 2. So needs to make this, doesn't want to go 3-1 down, does he? Beauty. Hit the 6 ball a little bit too thin. Should be able to, I mean, he's able to make the 2, but can't stun his cue ball with the necessary backspin, because then the side pocket's in the way, and if he rolls it in, the cue ball is going to go, you know, past the side pocket and might roll towards the red 3. So kind of like half stun, half draw. Okay, opted for that shot, accepting this angle on the 3 ball. Pretty mature shot and pretty intelligent as well, and of course you need the quality of play to be able to accept a 3 ball like this, because this is a cut to a blind pocket. Key shot of this rack. Wants to even up this game, doesn't want to go 3-1 down. So for all of the fans from around the world, and we have quite a few fans currently watching from Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, we will be featuring the second semi-final between your Taiwanese pool superstar Ko Pin Yi. Will be squaring off against Europe's and Spain's superstar Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, the true heir to the possible Spanish pool throne that David Alcaide has been occupying for the last decade or two, and he's still in the mix everywhere. So rack 5, Wiktor to break. Let me just adjust the score. So made the corner ball. What has been happening is that the 1 ball has been hitting the knuckle of the side pocket it always travels towards. As you can see, Wiktor unhappy with being able to see the 1 ball, but just not being able to make it. Yeah, so Wiktor taking a bit of a few instances to decide on what he's going to do. Push out he thinks is the best, so I'm going to say what he actually wanted to do was tie up the 7-9, which he didn't do, I believe. Let me just see if I can give you a side table view. There we go. This is what Shane is facing. Well, I mean, that doesn't really look appetizing, does it? I mean, it's a difficult jump shot. Can only hit, you know, the left side of the one ball. I mean, so what is Shane gonna do here? Could kick at it, but can only kick at it 3 rails. Or can he actually see it? I mean, even with my pretty clear side view angle here, I didn't think he was able to see it. Maybe a mini jump. Maybe he can bank it. Must be able to bank it or else he wouldn't take it, I believe. Hello. Shane the shot maker Van Boening, you could also call him. Because he does have some confidence in his, let's say, specialty shots. Banks, jumps, high octane, screwbacks, full distance, stun shots. You know, it really is all his. So he can sometimes leave those shots in push-outs and other players might give it back because they just actually aren't able to shoot the shots that Shane can. So now what? Bank the 2 as well or play safe and guide the cue ball behind the 3-6? I think the latter. Ooh, but don't hit the 8. I mean, lucky boy. Never meant to hit the black 8. Wiktor's looking so long actually that he might be able to see some of it. No. Jump shot as well. And what I see in Wiktor, which is nice to see, it really doesn't look like he's phased by or potentially could get nervous during a close ending of a match, especially of this magnitude, where he's able to beat, you know, the current world 9-ball champion and already the legend that is SVB. You know, I don't think Wiktor will flinch to cross the winning line or perform any shots any less because of nerves kicking in. So also a nice, well, talent to have, just a nice frame of mind to have. You know, you need to have some confidence and a certain outlook on your own skills and how to play the game to be able to bring that to the fore in these kind of moments. So Shane wants to wing his cue ball around, stun it into the bottom left corner, but that orange 5 is in the way of his natural path, so needs to pass that 5, but then has a smaller area to guide his cue ball to. I mean, unless he really plays it into the, you know, really draws it as far as he can to the left of this bottom short rail, and then hits the second rail, avoids hitting the 5. The good thing is he can never scratch in the right side pocket because the brown 7 is preventing that. And the brown 7 might also be pretty stuck on the rail there. So that might be something to play for tactically later on. Yeah, so this was always a danger, unless Shane... Okay, the 3 ball goes into the side pocket as well. Beauty of a shot. You know, to guide your cue ball in that direction, fine, but to give it the tempo to stop, well, you know, there where it is now, or within 5 to 10 centimeters either side, that's some skill required. So nice shot that was. Remember, this is Wiktor's break, so a chance for Shane to take one of Wiktor's breaking games away from him to try to double his lead. Yeah, so let's take a quick closer look at the brown 7. Does that go into the side? I think it may, you know. A bit straight on this 6 ball. Not sure if he has any angle to stun it, let's say stun draw it in between the 7 and the 9 ball. Might draw it back straight where he is now and come off 2 rails. Nice. You know, these big shots, you know, fast-paced stun shots and still control the cue ball so well. You know, Shane is really a master at that, and you can just see that he's played these shots so often, and he's got a big stroke to go with it, of course, to create that speed on the cue ball. Okie dokie, Shane in line to take the lead after game 5. Shane takes game 5. You know, is still, in my opinion, hoping not to make the 1 ball and bring the 1 ball back where he is now, but needs to cut his 1 ball and bring his cue ball straight to the right side rail and then back to the center of table with a bit of left spin. Almost too low, that cut, but it worked. Alright, we'll be satisfied with this break. Yeah, when you see certain players that are extremely skilled at this cut break, I mean, I would count Mario He among those people, Albin Ushan. It just looks, you know, fairly effortless. They don't really smack the break that hard. It's kind of like a half stun. And the 1 ball usually misses the side pocket and dresses up kind of like it did now for Shane, so that's something he would love to be replicating, and would love for the next time not to be bridging over this pink 4 while shooting the blue 2. But yeah, with Shane less than with anybody else almost, would I think this is a difficult shot. Like, this is again one of those elevated, perhaps a little bit longer bridging where Shane just doesn't have a problem. Now watch out for the commentator's curse. No, yeah, Shane just, you know, plays these kind of shots so effortlessly, as effortless as some of the European players are adept at doing that cut break. Alright, in line to take a 4 games to 2 lead. Sorry for my not updating the score. Oh, again, made the 4 ball in the right side of the pocket, meaning he cut it more, hit less of the 4 ball than he thought he was going to. That's why his cue ball ran a little bit further than he imagined. Yeah, nice shot. Pumping the cue ball into that corner and back out. I mean, it really is amazing with these formats, which, in my opinion, enable a larger pool of players to beat perhaps more skilled players, giving a larger pool of players to get amongst, let's say, the single elimination stages. In what kind of sport does that happen, that you have to kind of win a whole tournament in one day? Okay, Wiktor Zielinski wanting to get back to a 4-3 deficit, preferably. Alright, it's got a shot on the 2, albeit not the easiest one. But it does come with an added bonus of automatic position on the red 3 ball. His cue ball will travel straight to the left, back across table. Doesn't have a scratching danger in either side pocket, so can just focus on making this blue 2, and the rest you get for free. Isn't that nice? So hit this with a confident stroke, or roll it with a confident stroke, I would say. Don't hit it. Hit that too thick. Oh. Disappointment en route back to his chair for Wiktor Zielinski. I think the pink 4 passes the orange 5 as well, so a wide open rack for Shane Van Boening to try to take a 3-game lead and then again breaking himself. So this would be the second time he would take the game that Wiktor Zielinski is breaking. And winning his own, of course. I mean, in my opinion, Shane Van Boening, the one true heir to kind of Earl Strickland way of playing pool, you know, with quick, kind of like 1-2 stroking balls, having a big stroke, being able to shoot any kind of extreme spin shot, any elevation shot on the table. Hope you're watching, Earl. Hope you're well. But then also coupled with a very mature, calm head, and I guess perhaps a talent not to mentally implode the way Earl Strickland perhaps can. Shane takes game number 7, and with that a 5-2 lead. It just has time to dip into the bottom right corner pocket. Let's see if I'm talking complete crap or if Shane can show us how to do it. Not this time, but made the ball below the 8. Alright, so made 1 ball on the break. Since that 1 ball hit the side pocket knuckle and came back up, then you're almost in danger, quickly in danger, of not complying with the 3-point rule. But both the 3 and the 4 cleared the breaking line, so all okay. Now, thin cut on the 1, bit of left spin, bring it just past the left side pocket for position on the 3. The 7 might currently not be potable, but I think when he gets to the 6 ball, he should be able to manipulate that or play position on it somehow or other. What a consistent shot maker he is, isn't he? And this really, that part of the match where, of course, he may still not run out eventually, but this could well be that 10-15 minute period in a match where he just comes with shots coupled with one perhaps 2 mistakes or 1 mistake and a non-successful break by Wiktor Zielinski, and then can create in a 10-15 minute period, can create like a 5-game swing, and then go from, you know, what was 2-all, then maybe to all of a sudden 7-2, and then even if Wiktor breaks and runs out his racks, if he then doesn't win Shane's racks, then Shane wins this match like 11-5, 11-6 or something, just because of this mid-match period of pure dominance and shot making. So, getting to the most important part of this rack. Audience, what is he gonna do with the 6-7-9? It's got a very workable angle on the 5 ball. I mean, he could shoot the 6 ball, the green 6, in the top left corner pocket. I think the 7 ball goes actually in both natural pockets. Yeah, so did as I suggested he may. Let's see from the side view what we think of that 7 ball position. So I think it goes, but he has, if he wants to shoot the 6 in the top left, yeah, he wanted to be straight in on that 6. So now may have to shoot. I mean, this, or does the 6 still go into the side pocket as well? I believe it. Well, I wouldn't put my money on it, but I believe it doesn't. So shooting the 6 top left, bumping the 9, but then needs to bump the 9 a little bit harder to shoot the 7 in the right side pocket, or right top corner pocket. Ooh. Alright, something you don't see often. Miss by Shane when he had a pretty decent position, but I mean, I don't think he had a safety in mind should he miss it. And this is not an easy kick for Wiktor, because can Wiktor hit the left side rail just after the side pocket? If he can, then that's the way to go after the 6. If he cannot, okay, he can. So the danger is if you hit the 6 on the left side from where he's aiming, quite a few hit points on that 6 will bring your cue ball close to that top left side pocket. So wants to hit it full ball really, and with a bit of backspin. Alright, if this passes the side pocket, and that is actually a really good safety. Don't know if that was by design. Alright, we have the highest viewing audience on our live stream currently, and we would love to increase it. So do let everybody know you're watching, and get some of your friends to watch as well. Alright, pretty mature, but might still give up a cut on the 6, which I think Wiktor will not pass up on. I mean, he could hit the 6 ball kind of like half ball on the right side and put the 6 on the left side rail and his cue ball on the right side rail, but that is kind of more a lift to shoot another shot and not really a progressive safety. Nice. Alright, doesn't want to end up in the middle and not on any typical position for the 7 ball. Whew. Alright, so the template rack has to be removed. So the Wiktor laid a piece of chalk against the 7 ball, took the rack away, and then can put the ball back where the chalk was. So has to add a little bit of backspin besides right spin to play position on the 8 off of 3 rails. So not straightforward. Nice hit. Alright, so Wiktor showing a little bit of frustration, of course, you would say, but you know, he's also got through this tournament because of his mental prowess and coolness. So now what? Bank the 8, force follow your cue ball through. Play safe. Yeah, he could send the 8 into the side rail just below the right side pocket and then up to the middle of the short rail at the far end, or do that same thing over 2 rails. That's it's a good shot. Don't know if he got the full ball snooker. I mean, Shane's not gonna cut this in, will he? Yeah, it's hard to see how much Shane can see of this 8 ball to sketch the options. Or can he see it at all? I mean, if he has to kick at it. So I don't know exactly why he's pointing there, where he was. Bank the 8 2 rails. I mean, that would be some kind of shot, but could leave the 8 ball safe if he does not find the pocket. Oh, he is banking at 2 rails. Oh, that straightened up considerably on that second rail. It's a pretty mature shot again, though. I mean, something to learn from me, because I mean, he would leave the cue ball position on the 9 like that, trusting to his talent that he would make it. You know, he could have missed the 8 and left it in quite a few positions, and it would have been very difficult for Wiktor, including this one. So he needs to shoot this with elevation. Would like to not give a lot of left spin, nothing at all, preferably. Wow, beauty! This to not go 6-2 down was a big shot by Wiktor Zielinski, taking it back to 5-3. The hot Spanish player, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. All right. Where does the 7 ball go? It will leave a shot on the 1. So this was kind of like one of those cut breaks where it was like obvious almost from the beginning that he was going to get a shot. You know, nothing really came in the way besides the 7 ball. Nice and open rack. That was kind of like a low risk quality cut break, I would say. All right, 4 and 5 ball on the far side of the table, nicely somewhat together. 5 to the 6 and 6 to the 7. The highest quality required, plus this one. Alright, more angle than he would have liked to leave. And maybe a bit more distance than he was imagining. But in making this pink 4, the cue ball will cross pretty much straight over to the other side of the table, the right side of the table, for position on the orange 5. Whoa. Man, well, normally players kind of get back in line after getting out of line somewhat, but that was an unexpected miss, eh? Wow. Wasn't really threatened by needing a lot of quality, just needed to make that medium distance 6 ball. Right, nice little drag positional shot by Shane to keep his cue ball to be able to make the 7 in its natural side pocket. Okay, so Shane 2 balls away, although being on the wrong side of the 8 ball. 1 ball away from taking a 6-3 lead, race to 11. Target is a place in the grand final here in Bucharest, Romania. After which, most of this pool playing circus will be traveling to London, England for the inaugural UK Open 2022. Okay, Shane takes it, and with that, a 6-3 lead. Alright, legal break. Ooh, 4 ball. Disgust of Shane. Not afraid to show it. Spoiling the party for what could have been a textbook easy run out. Now what? Push out, but with the 1 ball so close to the pocket, it's hard to push out somewhere. You know, you'd love to be able to push out not even to a potable 1 ball, but potentially only a safety. I mean, you have to think about, if you're thinking about push outs, think about the faraway corners of the pool table on the other side of wherever the 1 ball ended up. In this case, the top left and right corner pockets. Of course, that still leaves a cut on the 1, so Shane is going to leave no view of the 1 ball. I believe that Wiktor can only kick at this. The kick and stick, so bottom rail hitting the 1 ball full in the face, making the cue ball stop there and sending the 1 ball, well, ideally behind the pink 4, behind the brown 7, but at least, but Wiktor is not liking it. Shane is walking back to the table. In a way, he was hoping to possibly be able to see some of the 1 ball. So Shane wanting to hit this 1 ball full on. Just good enough at the moment, not good enough anymore. Yes, I would say the 1 ball was just a bit too far off the rail to make it very doable to make your cue ball stop there and to still send the 1 ball towards a safe position. So maybe, I guess, in the end, vindication for Wiktor to give that push out back to Shane. Ooh, only barely making the 1 ball, almost hit it too thick. Saying that, now in pretty good straight in position. Well, yeah, can screw his cue ball back somewhat, like 5 or 10 centimeters, I believe. Will be bridging over the black 8. Has a bit of an angle on the pink 4, so not ideal. Either has to follow the cue ball with top right cue ball tip position, or stun it to the left side rail and back out. Oh, Wiktor getting away with one here, because that is a thin cut on the 4. Theoretically possible, practically Would you go for this? I mean, what else to do, really? What do you think, pool audience? What is Shane gonna do to either run out or get a positive result with this 4-ball position? So it looks like he's trying to cut it in. Nice. Good shot. A bit of right spin on his cue ball, straightening up that cue ball while it travels back down table. So a somewhat disappointing level of performance by Wiktor Zielinski. I mean, possibly also because he really wants that scalp of Shane van Boening and a place in the final of this tournament he's currently playing. And just making a few mistakes. Even when he's breaking so well, not running out the rack he's created for himself. So Shane on his way to a 7-3 lead. You know, Wiktor was able to stop the rut a little bit after he went down 5-2. Was able to come back 5-4. You remember that? And 5 minutes later, it's 7-3 to Shane. Last time he broke, had a really good cut break, failed to run out that rack, remember? So let's see if he can have a problem-free cut break. Pink, bottom right corner pocket. Nope. Made the ball below that, made the 1 ball. Alright. Is that the 2 ball on this rail? Or is it the 3 ball he's shooting at? Sometimes hard to see. Yeah, 3 ball he's shooting at, so beautiful open rack. Ooh. Sorry. He really made that 4 ball in the left side of the corner pocket. I'm not trying to make things exciting when they really aren't. Yeah, too little angle on this 6 ball. It's almost like there was so little pressure on this rack and seemed so likely that he was going to run it out that he didn't get ultimate position on the 4, which he wanted to actually shoot into the side pocket. Now stuck onto this rail and 2 straight onto the 7. Strange, isn't it? I seem to have the same experience if I break like in an 8-ball game and the balls are so spread out that you could have like 100,000 easy ways to run it out. And actually then it turns out to be a fairly difficult rack. It seems to be hard to keep focus when there's no pressure at all. And when there's a lot of pressure, it's hard to keep focus as well. Oh. Alright, Wiktor taking game 11 for a 4-7 deficit. Shame to break though. Squaring off against the current world 9-ball champion, Shane van Boening. My name is Rico Diks, commentating and narrating throughout this match for you in the next semi-final and final. While Shane is trying to cut this break. Ooh, bit of overcut there. But made the 1 and the 2, didn't he? And has got a shot on the 3. So, you know, sometimes it doesn't go according to plan and you may have the easiest shot, or he's got the 2 ball next to the 9. I'm kind of colorblind, getting colorblind between the oh yeah, it is the 3 ball, okay. So center table position for Shane will be all that's required. Bottom left spin. This semi-final of Pool Power, followed by another cracker between Ko Pin Yi and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. I mean, really an amazing semi-final lineup. Could have had a few lineups with the final 32 players that started out here this morning, which would have given you a quality semifinals. But this certainly a version that works very well. So will he play position for the 6-9? I mean, think not. Yeah. Oh no, that spin on the cue ball really made the cue ball come to life off that first rail. Alright, so wants to draw his cue ball back to our left. Might hit the left side rail, might not. So a bit of care. Shane sensing that this, you know, not necessarily. Oh, okay, it was that straight. Right, this time it's Shane, who really throughout this match has shown a better feeling for the cut break, getting more results off of him than he did in his quarterfinal matchup against Mario He. And with that, about to take an 8-4 lead, race to 11, so 3 more racks needed for Shane after this for a place in the final. Okay, Wiktor Zielinski to break. Niels Feyen won it in 2016-17. Wojtek Ševčík won it in 2018, and Fedor Gors won it in 2019. Okay, Zielinski to break. Oh, didn't make the corner ball again. Made the one below it, or the 2 ball. So the 2 ball goes to the bottom rail and then gets kicked into the bottom right corner pocket a few times now. Interesting, because they're also making the 1 ball. So they've, for the last few racks, they've been shooting the 3 ball first. All right, a bit straight on this 3 ball, but there's a bit of a gap between the left side rail and his cue ball, so can jack up and add some backspin to his cue. Avoid a full eclipse snooker behind the black. And this is a good start. So stun his cue ball over to the left side rail and leave about a 40-degree angle or so to shoot the green 6 into the same pocket he wants to shoot this orange 5 ball in. Right, nice little break and run by Wiktor Zielinski. Showing his talents here. Okay, Shane to break. That is something I don't think I've seen this whole tournament. I mean, that was definitely an overcut break. Cue ball off the table. Huh. Alright, so because he hit it, you know, only like half ball while he shakes his head in the chair, Wiktor Zielinski is not just seeing things. Just a little bug flying over the table. Could have just told it to go. I hope he didn't. Hope he didn't kill it. Left himself too straight. I mean, that still enables him to draw it back to where his hand is right now and then come off of the top rail for the 3-ball in the right side pocket, but that's not what he originally wanted. Or, okay, he may have a slight angle to stun it, because ideally he would like to stun his cue ball just past the right side pocket. But he doesn't want to be left on the rail. And with a straight 3-ball, all he can do now, probably in my eyes currently, is roll the 3-ball in. Yeah, no angle to speak of there. Roll the 3-ball in and then leave himself a stun shot on the 4, and then he will have to stun his cue ball. Okay, was able to do something. Now will he roll this 4-ball in? I think he's got the angle. If he rolls this in, will his cue ball roll towards us just to the left of the orange 5? Or else he has to stun it into the black 8. So, as you can see, or maybe have been able to see in this match, Wiktor Zielinski really a putting machine, and you know, these long distance 4-balls, they go in effortlessly, but sometimes that putting talent throughout the years maybe has left you with a bit less cue ball control finesse. Although he's slowly coming back to an ideal line. Now wants to stun his cue ball into the top left corner and back out. And that will be just fine. So, his break and run in the previous game, and as I said, can only hope for a chance given by Shane, or possibly a dry break by Shane, and Shane did even more for him than that. Thumped the cue ball out of the table on his break that I haven't seen this whole tournament, and giving him ball in hand. How nice is that? Okay. 4 or 5 balls of this rack and what they do. See. So the corner ball did go and the 2-ball got kicked in again. It's amazing that I haven't really seen that happen that often, and now it's happened like 3 of the last 4 breaks or something. Okay, that does mean that Wiktor, because he also made the 1-ball, again is shooting at the 3-ball as the first ball to go for. Now can of course see the right side of this 3-ball, but to bank the 3-ball back down to us and keep his cue ball behind the pink 4, not easy. He needs to give his cue ball left spin, has to account for deflection. Ooh, nice. And leaves the 3-ball in the middle of the table, so not near a rail, because that would make it an easier target for Shane to hit. Ooh, nice. We've got action again. Hope you're liking this from wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. That may be live where we are right now, or it may be some years down the line watching this on YouTube on the Billiard Network. Welcome either way to this world-class semi-final for a place in the final of the Bucharest Open 9-Ball Championships 2022. Sponsored by Predator. Shane looking to hit this 3. Hey, he may even hit it and make it. Well, if he hits it from the side where he's looking at now, I mean, he could hit it half ball and get away with it. Could hit it and double kiss. Anyway, just sketching potential things that can happen. That's often what you're doing as a pool player, just looking at what could potentially happen. I mean, how else is he going to hit this 3 ball? It is only this route off of the right side rail, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, Shane's looking at coming off this right rail and then around the 9/8. So now he's looking at the distance between the 3 ball that he's pointing and the rail. And then that same length as he's holding now, where he's holding his finger, that's the direction he wants to shoot his cue ball in. And also, in essence, the point on the rail he will be coming from is would kind of represent almost scratching in this bottom left corner pocket, which you may have done before, so you can use that as a potential guide. Maybe just wide of the bottom right side pocket. Pretty kick at velocity, you would imagine. Oh, too wide. Ooh, that little touch on the 4 ball. Okay, I think didn't change a thing, but could have changed what was possible for position on this 4 ball. Yeah, I think Wiktor can come anywhere on the right side of this table for position on the pink 4. And then it should be plain sailing from there. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Ooh, much more of a cut required. And that, of course, to make the 4 ball reach the pocket requires a certain cue ball speed, and the cue ball doesn't lose that speed after hitting the 4, so it needs to finesse this one. Nice. So it will be Shane's break after this. And will still be leading 7 racks to 8. But what a difference, 5 minutes. And a quality increase by Wiktor Zielinski. What a difference that makes. Wiktor Zielinski takes game number 15 and takes it back to only being 1 game behind in a race to 11. Shane changing sides for the first time in about 2 matches that I know of. Okay, looking for the green 6 bottom left. I have thought that this side is a clearer side to break from. Okay. Can see the left side of this 1 ball, but that's about it. Yeah, what to do? Cut it as thin as you can. And you would love to bring the cue ball behind the 2 pink 9 ball or so. He's going to push out. I mean, I don't think he's going to get this back. Although I don't even know what he's going to be doing, but, you know, hasn't left a full table distance between the cue and 1 ball. Wiktor can aim anywhere on the cue ball, is not stuck on the rail, can hit about 50-60% of this 1 ball. Yeah. Okay, maybe it is a pretty good push, because he could bank the 1 ball to pass the 8 ball on the right side, but doesn't hide behind any balls with his cue ball then. So Wiktor really in 2 minds. Yeah, he's going to give it back. I mean, he could still cut it extremely thin and try to get his cue ball behind the 3, behind the blue 2. But it's so easy to hit that 1 ball too thick and kind of expose it to the top right corner pocket. mean, Shane is now looking at hitting it a little bit thicker with left spin and bringing his cue ball back behind the orange 5. And if he does so, has a fairly big open table area where he could leave the 1 ball without leaving it on, but phew. Yeah, see, that's where he wants to bring his cue ball back off of that 3rd and 4th rail. Well, audience, this has turned into a close match again. What looked like Shane, you know, after an 8-4 lead and disappointment for Wiktor, these last 10 minutes, it's all bent the other way. He might just be banking the 1 ball back down table. Unsure with his current tip position. Looked like he was aiming just center ball. Strange really in my mind that he pushed out there but actually still didn't know what he was going to do were he to be given it back. Alright, so it looks like he's giving his cue ball left spin. Yeah, he did extremely thin cut it. Exposed the 1. Yeah. No, didn't hit it good enough. Hit it too thick and left a completely open table to Wiktor with a chance to tie this game back up. Who would have thought? The power of Shane, which he's been showing throughout, I mean, the last 10 years, 10, 15 years, and also in this tournament. The power of Shane kind of waning in the last 10 minutes or so. I mean, it may very well be just a loss of focus. He might be a bit hungry. It's been a whole day and I haven't seen the man put one thing of nutritional value into his mouth, but so we're looking at a 8-all ball game, a best of 5 in this race to 11 then, for a place in the final, with Wiktor picking up confidence. Shane definitely not losing confidence, but just experiencing a bit of disappointment with a few mistakes on his part. So all the better for more drama on this 4.5 by 9 pool table. "2,000 people watching this live currently from all over the world. We welcome you, and we're glad you're joining us for this very exciting semi-final. And that will be followed by another semi-final guaranteed to bring you high quality pool, possibly finger-biting levels of drama, whether you're a viewer or a player. Or nail biting, isn't it? It's not finger biting. Don't bite your fingers. Right, Wiktor in his fast and loose style. This 9 ball for an even ball game. 8-all, ladies and gentlemen. Going on about the 1 and the 2 ball has been made. So the top and low ball of this rack. Made the 1 ball, made the corner ball. It's got a shot on the 2. I mean, not easy because he has to screw his cue ball back to the center of the table for a shot on the 3. Following it through. Yeah, aiming low ball. Boom. Too much action out of his cue ball. That may have also been caused because he made the 2 ball in the right side of the pocket. So hitting it a bit further to the left of that 2 than he may have envisioned. But still in good line. Most quality required, you would expect getting from the 4 to the 5. So this a vital shot to get a nice angle on the 4. which he has done. Yeah. So Wiktor Zielinski with a chance to take the lead off of Shane van Boening. Wiktor has only had the lead when he was leading 2-1. And ever since then, Shane took over. But now Wiktor has taken over in these last 15 minutes. Bit more angle on this 6 ball than he wanted. Alright, he's looking at the 8-9 combo. Can hold the cue ball there as well. Yeah. Bit more angle on the 8 than he needs. I can screw the cue ball straight to the left side rail and back out a little bit. Zip. Alright, game 17 goes with a break and run for Wiktor Zielinski, taking a 9 racks to 8 lead. Okay, made the 1 ball, made the corner ball, and it's got a shot on the 2. What will the 3 ball do if it doesn't pass the 7 ball? I think it does though. Just give ourselves a quick side view. Yeah, the 3 ball does pass as he's aiming. Looking at now, it does pass the 7. And he can play position on the 4 ball then as well. I'll leave you here for this shot. Alright, back to the main view. So Shane's cue ball is going to run in between the brown 7 and 8. Into the rail and could make it come straight back out, or is he gonna spin it to the right? Would be better to do that for his position on the 4. Yeah. Alright. Getting closer to the 11 game target, but since both players are doing that, this is giving us more drama, and each shot, each rack, the pressure intensifies. So Shane with a really beautiful, controlled, fully in line at all times run out. Should bring him pretty nicely positioned for this 9 ball. Could remove the template rack, could also just leave it. Don't think it will affect the direction of the cue ball and or 9 ball. So this for a 9-all ball game. Oh, that I haven't updated the score with. So 9-all we currently are. So let's see. Victor's been making the 1 ball as well as the pink corner ball. So Shane, look, as you can see, Shane's still learning, looking at Victor's break speed, the way he hits it, kind of the stroke of it. Hello. Made the 1 ball, made the corner balls, got a shot on the 2. Bridging over the green 6 though, so not as easy as it looks maybe initially. And also the 9 still has to be avoided because his cue ball wants to come back up table for the 3 ball. Nice. Very good. The less angle on this 3 the better, because then he can just keep it there for the orange 5. He's got a bit of an angle. Could stun his cue ball. Okay, yeah, could and probably should just roll or stun this 3 ball in and leave his cue ball about 2 balls width to the right of the red 3. Could also stun it into the bottom right corner and come back out in between the 8-9. Yep, that's what he did. So Wiktor, in this all-important 19th game with a really textbook cut break and so far a really nicely executed run out. And don't see that going wrong anytime soon, do we? So can Wiktor be the first one to be one game away from the final? Yes, he will be. Alright, you lovely pool audience. Could prove deadly. So Shane breaking from the opposite side than Wiktor has been successful from. Looking for the 3 bottom left. Made it. One ball hit the knuckle though. Ooh, and therewith fail. Ooh, he's got a shot. He's got a shot, ladies and gentlemen. I thought he was going to be snookered on the 9 ball. Okay, this is going to increase my excitement levels a little bit. I hope it does yours. And a beautiful spread of all these balls. Alright, left himself more angle than he needed. And will now probably come back around the brown 7 out of that top left corner. Could also screw his cue ball straight to the left and come back out to the center of the table. Yeah, this being a little bit more of a roll, peaceful shot rather than the stun, although Shane very adept at both. Alright, so too much angle on the blue 2, too much angle on the pink 4. Now these players are extremely good at normally within one shot correcting what may have been a missed positional opportunity to correct themselves, to bring themselves back in line. So Shane, I think, has too much angle to draw his cue ball to the right and come north of the orange 5 into the side rail and back out. So he may, but of course running into the 9 doesn't give anything. Or you might need extreme cue ball draw here. That's what he's going for. Nice. Was just able to thread the cue ball above the orange 5 and is now back in line. Now will he shoot the green top right corner pocket, or will he shoot the 6 ball in the side? I think he's going to leave his cue ball there, isn't it? Don't give away position. Okay, I didn't know he was that straight. So we are heading for a final rack decider, my personal favorite in every match. Hope you're enjoying yourselves in this current moment you're watching live or at a later date. This is heading for a final rack decider for a place in the final. Remember, it will be Wiktor breaking though. Simply by winning the lag, that's what gives him the opportunity to possibly break and run out and never feature Shane in this final rack decider. Coming up with Shane downing this 9 ball undoubtedly. Pop goes the 9. 10-all is our score. Also often because a little bit more tension in the player's arm, you know, he might hit the break just a tad bit less free than he might do usually. Here we go. No corner ball, 1 ball down, 7 and 3 made a legal break. Ooh-wee, this potentially the key shot of this rack already, as far as I can see. The blue 2 in this bottom right corner pocket, the cue ball will then travel directly to the right into the side rail, will then come across the table while Wiktor just sips a bit of water just to compose himself, because he knows this may be the most difficult shot he would love to be shooting in this rack. Potential bonus that if he misses the blue 2, should he miss the blue 2, then there's a potential wall of balls featuring the pink, yellow 9, black 8, orange 5, you know, so. Ooh, Wiktor with a nicely executed opening shot on the blue 2. Right, I would say he's dead in line to follow his cue ball or draw it back off of the side rail and leave himself either straight in on the pink 4 or the small angle on this right side. And that will do just fine. He's able to stun his cue ball straight to the left into the side rail and then back out to the center of table. He needs a straight in position on the orange 5. And Shane can currently do absolutely nothing. Potential break and run out in this final rack decider of this first semi-final. And what a break and run out it has so far been. No problems whatsoever by a first key shot, well executed on the blue 2. Wiktor wasting no time either. Not like he's really playing ball for ball. He's just treating this like any old run out, and looks like it. So one last good positional shot required here. Even shot that with inside spin. Now does take a little bit of a sip of water. Nice maturity. I mean, a year ago he wouldn't have done that. You know, he would have just raced through this rack. Not that he would have thumped the 8 ball into the rail. These 2 balls for a famous victory for Wiktor over the current world 9-ball champion Shane, the South Dakota kid Van Boening. We've seen the last of him and may have to wait for the next tournament. Wiktor into the final. What a semi-final it was. What a second half performance by Wiktor. I mean, faultless really after going 8-4 down. Breaking extremely well, and we've got a second amazing semi-final lined up for you. Copigny versus Francisco Sanchez Ruiz coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes time. I'm gonna get myself a drink and I'll see you right back here. Everybody from Taiwan, get ready for your Wonder Boy to feature on this table.